Hello and welcome to video number 7. We're going to talk about engagement rewards. So it's one thing to earn rewards based on topics and lessons or courses completed. However, you want to make sure that people engage with your online course as well. So in other words, you want them to comment, you want them to perhaps talk to other students and engage with each other. So once you get people to engage with each other, more people will join in. And then, of course, your online course will actually grow in terms of more engagement, which results in more backend sales. Now, most of the time within online communities, the reality is that it sounds like crickets. It's silence. So because of this factor and because of this issue that only a few handful of people actually speak up. Typically what we've found is 1 out of 100 people will actually speak up. So how do you get people to engage, comment, communicate with each other, and more? Well, what you can do is you can utilize GammaPress. GammaPress is a suite of WordPress plugins. It's not a SaaS platform, so if you use something like Teachable, you will not be able to do this. So in order to do this, you will need to have a WordPress site. Now, I have opened up a few tabs here. We've got free add-ons or free WordPress plugins that are extensions of GammaPress. So these are free. And of course, there are some that do cost some money. Now, you don't need to have all of these. What I would recommend you do is just pick a few. Now, GammaPress by itself, when we tested it, we found that you can set it up to say, if somebody comments, give them a certain amount of points. Or if somebody uploads media like a picture, a video, or an audio, then you can give them points as well. So to make more sense, let me find those plugins and I'll walk you through. So this can go past just engagement. It doesn't have to be only commenting. As you'll see in just a minute, there's so many different ways to gamify your site. But one thing to keep in mind is a lot of times you can get lost into this because, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. There's so many things that you could do. Okay, so on the free one, it says, this one's a button, and it says add activity events based on button clicks. So we don't really need that. Transfer notes, you don't really need any of that. Leaderboards can be a good thing to have, but I would recommend that you implement that after you've set up the main core of your site. Now, if we scroll down, this one actually is good to have. There's something called MyCred, which is kind of similar to GammaPress, but it does cost a little bit money to use. But in my opinion, I would just recommend that you stick with these plugins. And of course, as you can see, BadgeOS Importer, that's good to have so that you can import different badges into GammaPress to be able to be used. Okay, so as you can see, in terms of the free extensions, there's not a ton, but there's a few, like the multimedia content. So if you had this set up and you wanted people to upload a certain image, maybe their homework, maybe whatever it could be, and by getting them to engage, getting them to upload whatever content that you're asking them to do, they get points. And then they can use those points to like go to the store and spend money or spend the points to get access to whatever they want. So that's the multimedia one. Under Pro, these are actually ones that cost money. Now, depending on what platform you use to run your site, whether it could be easy digital downloads, it could be WooCommerce. In other words, in terms of your store. There's also something called time-based rewards. As you can see here, you can add time-based rewards to let your users come back to claim them. So you could have something like Christmas or Thanksgiving, a certain holiday and get them to come back to your site to get the rewards. There are other things like restrict lock, which you can lock certain elements, certain media content until they take a certain action. Now there's conditional emails, conditional notifications. Conditional notifications is actually another really good one. This is not necessarily engagement, but whenever somebody gets points, you can trigger a notification, kind of like a pop-up that says, hey, you got this many points. So when people see that, that actually triggers some dopamine, triggers, and gets people thinking, oh, wow, I got this, or I got this reward, I'm happy now, kind of thing. So scrolling down, a lot of these you don't really need. Referrals, that can be good. So these you don't really need. Transfers, daily login rewards is another good one, so that people can log in every single day to get rewards. So this can actually help you in terms of people that completely forget about your course. So if they log in every single day, they can get rewards by doing that. Now, if you scroll down here, if you're using something like WooCommerce, then you can use the WooCommerce Points Gateway. So what that means is as people are earning rewards or points, they can then go to your WooCommerce store and purchase with their points. So what this does is it kind of creates a bridge in between WooCommerce and your WordPress online community. So scrolling down here, here's a progress map. So this is really good for the progress trigger, which we talked about earlier. This one as well, this is kind of a circle progress map, and this one is more of a roadmap type thing. They have more, you can see it in when I open it up here. I scroll down. This kind of gives you a better idea of what it looks like. So this is more of kind of a roadmap. So this would do really well when it comes to progress maps. Now, a lot of these you don't really need, like these here, and leaderboards you can have, but as I said, implement that at the last moment after you've set everything up. Otherwise, it's going to get complex. So as you can see, you can really get lost and try to install every single one of these plugins. Now, bear in mind, each one of them costs money. Now, if you want, they have what we call these all access passes, where you pay a fee and you get access to either everything or certain things. What I recommend is just simply pick and choose the ones that you really need. And most of that is actually within GamerPress itself. In fact, if you just want to give people rewards and points based on commenting, GamerPress already has that built in. You don't need the add-ons. The add-ons are simply basically expands it and makes it more engaging. So hopefully that explains a lot of detail in terms of which plugin you should use, what site you should use, and all that. I know I'm not necessarily showing you how to use them, but a lot of this information that I'm telling you took many months to figure out many years ago. So you're getting the condensed version. So what I recommend again is just download GamerPress and start with the basics. You don't really need anything except maybe the progress map, the notifications, and this one's actually, these are pop-ups that come up. And then of course, eventually you want to have the daily points where the daily rewards, this one here, and this one here if you want to have a WooCommerce store. Those are the ones that I would initially start out with before moving to anything else. So I hope you enjoyed that video. We're going to talk about in the next video how to get your students back if they've totally forgotten about your course. Okay, so welcome back. This is video number 8, and we're going to talk about how do you get people back to your online course or to your online community once they've forgotten everything about it and they've gotten sidetracked, they've totally forgotten. And it's not necessarily that they don't want to, it's just a lot of people are busy and get distracted really easily. So let's say, for example, that your system detects, and you've set this up to figure out, okay, this person has not come back to the course in like a week. Now you can set it up within your autoresponder series to remind them, and that's something that I would recommend that you do. But let's say, for example, a few weeks pass, and even though you've sent out those follow-up emails that are built in to your autoresponder series, they simply have totally forgotten about you and your course, and there's no way to get them back. You could email them, but that could potentially just annoy them. So how do you get them back? Well, in order to achieve this, you need to have Facebook pixels installed and Google Ad pixels as well. The method here is simply retargeting people. So let's say, for example, that this is your online community site. So we'll say online course/community. So this is here. And let's say, for example, that people come here, but yet they totally leave. So what you're going to need to have is you're going to need to do Facebook ads or even Google ads in terms of retargeting, meaning if you've ever gone to a website, let's say a home improvement store, for example, and you've gone to that site and you were looking at some sort of like tile replacement, and then you happen to go to a totally different website that has nothing to do with tile replacement, but you see ads from those home improvement stores. That's basically what retargeting is, and that's basically what you want to implement here. Now, you might be thinking, well, why would I want to spend money, right? Why would I want to spend, a few dollars to get people back? It's because the realization that if you can get people back and you're constantly following them around the internet and they're constantly reminded about your course, what will actually end up happening is it will embed into their minds. They might be at work, or they're in a certain location where they have been cookied and those ads are following them everywhere. Now, in order to achieve this, you will need to have the pixel here. So I'm going to put a green box to signify a pixel. So we're going to, instead of an arrow, we are going to do a circle. So that signifies a pixel. Now, the reason why you need to have a Facebook pixel or a Google pixel on that particular page is because in order to retarget them, you need to have, they would have at least hit a page on your website. So the fact that they hit this page, you can now follow them around the internet by telling Facebook, hey, follow this person around the internet. And if they come back on their own choice and on their own decision, it's highly likely that those ads have worked, and now you have someone who doesn't feel forced. They feel like, oh, I really want to come back to take your online course. So that's basically the strategy here in a gist, and that's it. So congratulations on getting finished with this video course.